Near the end of the new trailer for Spider-Man Brand New Day that just dropped this week, we hear Spider-Man's deceased Aunt May tell him, "The people who love you because you're you. Never forget that, no matter how powerful you've become." Everything else in this trailer, the Hulk, Peter's mysterious metamorphosis, the ominous warnings from the Department of Damage Control, Sadie Sink's character leaping between bodies like a malevolent ghost, is spectacle in service of that single idea. Peter Parker gave up everyone who loved him to protect them. That was the sacrifice at the end of Spider Man No Way Home. 4 years later, this trailer asks a much harder question. What does a person become after that kind of choice, sustained not just for a moment of crisis, but as a permanent condition of daily life? And the visual grammar of the trailer answers before the dialogue does. Some of the backgrounds are gray, washed out, and dreary, a New York rendered in the palette of exhaustion. Spider Man's suit, by contrast, is vivid and bright, practically vibrating with color against its drab surroundings. This is not a stylistic accident, it's a thesis statement rendered in cinematography. Spider Man is thriving, but Peter Parker is disappearing. The mask has become the only place where this character still gets to be fully alive, and the trailer wants us to feel the wrongness of that arrangement before a single line of exposition explains it. The physical evolution teased throughout the trailer, Peter's increasingly desperate plea to the Hulk of all people to help him suppress whatever is happening to his mutating DNA, functions as a literalized metaphor for a kind of self-erasure taken to its logical extreme. And Banner's response is one of the trailer's sharpest pieces of dialogue. How would you decide what parts of nature are good or bad? It's a question that Peter can't actually answer, because the entire premise of his current existence has been deciding unilaterally which parts of himself the world is allowed to know. Here's what I find most interesting about where this film seems to be going. Previous three films have fundamentally been about adolescence, a kid given enormous power before he had the judgment or the support structure to wield it safely, learning incrementally the kind of great responsibility that comes with great power. This film appears to be reframing the character's ever present central theme by way of a more adult question. What happens when responsibility becomes total, permanent, isolating, when there's no longer a Peter Parker separate from Spider Man to retreat into, because Peter Parker gave away every person who made that identity meaningful? Ned's mention in a video of his final semester at MIT lands with real cruelty in this context, a glimpse of the ordinary life trajectory that Spider Man sacrificed as he watches from outside of the world he chose to exit. Now, there is a villain suggested by this footage. The Department of Damage Control, as represented here by its director Bill Metzger, played by Tremel Tillman, has been invoking the increasingly fascistic control over superpowered individuals throughout their previous appearances in Miss Marvel and in Wonder Man. Sadie Sink's character, rumored to be the X-Men's Jean Grey, possibly serving as a desperate anti-heroic response to exactly that kind of persecution. These threats matter, and they will drive the plot, but they matter less, ultimately, than the interior threat that the trailer keeps circling back to. The real antagonist of Spider Man Brand New Day, if this trailer is to be believed, was never going to fit on a poster, because it's loneliness. The specific, compounding loneliness of a young man who made the most selfless choice imaginable and has been quietly disappearing into the consequences of it ever since. The previous trailer for this film already made history, the first movie trailer to cross 1 billion views in just 4 days. And watching these trailers, I understand why. It promises spectacle. The Hulk, the Hand, Scorpion, the Punisher, everything a fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe could want. But underneath all of that, it promises something rarer. A genuine emotional reckoning with the cost of the choice this character made when we last saw him. Spider Man Brand New Day opens July 31st, positioned to set the stage for whatever Spider Man's role will be in the culmination of the Multiverse Saga and Avengers Secret Wars next year. Before any of that, this trailer suggests that Peter Parker has to answer a much smaller, much harder question first. Who's left underneath the mask if you give everything of yourself away? Tickets for Spider Man Brand New Day are on sale now, so let me know in the comments. What did this trailer make you feel? Are you ready for the next step in Spider Man's journey as we approach the end of the Multiverse Saga? And of course, don't forget to subscribe to Fandom Frontline for more deep dives into the stories that shape our fandom.